making of the music of 42nd Street. With no budget for an orchestra and limited musical abilities of our own, coming up with the music for a show like 42nd Street was quite a dilemma. There was no background music on tapes like Broadway -1 or others. We had to come up with the music on our own. Ever wonder how the music got from the written page to the piano? Here is our story. It all starts out in our studio. Every conceivable piece of equipment needed for the task of making the music is at hand. First, we use a computer to scan the music sent to us from the show publisher. Unfortunately for us, the music is handwritten and comes in no other form. Remember, 42nd Street was first published back in the 30s. Because the music is handwritten, the software does not recognize but 10 to 15% of the music. This means we will have to correct by hand 85 to 90% of the notes in the show. This is a job that turns out taking months to complete. After this process is complete, we convert the music into MIDI files, where we can edit the tempo of the music as well as make any key changes that will best suit the needs of the kids. The MIDI files are then exported into a sequencer program. We are now able to process the music into a sound module for recording the piano rehearsal music. This music is used by the cast and crew to rehearse the show until the music can be fully orchestrated. The sequencer is the program we use to edit the actual MIDI files, assign to various instruments, and record onto a digital multi-track recorder. It is then exported into a mastering software where it is processed into the final product and burned to a CD for use in the show. The producers. What are producers anyway? Well, we went to the only place we knew for sure that would have the answer to this question, the High School Musical Directory of Theater and Show Business Terms. Quote, "The producers are in charge of the business affairs that surround the making of a theatrical production. They also do the actual physical work of hiring and obtaining the people and equipment needed for the production." That's a mouthful. I guess my notion of a producer sitting behind a large desk with a cigar is a cliché. The process starts off with countless production meetings and extensive discussions on all aspects of the show. What this definition really means is that the producers get down in the trenches and work as hard as everybody else, if not harder. Then there are sets to be built, props to be made, hammering, painting, bookkeeping, and so on. These three ladies, Sue Heckman, Kim Larson-Jones, and Kathy Wilson, all make it come together. Nice work, ladies. Set design. An exhaustive search was made for a set designer whose ideas would mirror those of the director. A veteran of more than 40 years of theater was chosen for the job, Mr. Don Hillier of Palm Springs. Don is no stranger to local theatergoers, as he directed the high school plays for many years, as well as local community productions. Don first started with sketches of each scene, finely detailing each piece of scenery as well as many of the props used in the show. Careful consideration was given to color and shape and how each would react to stage lighting. Scale models were made of each scene and often referred to by the construction staff. Although Mr. Hillier was unable to personally supervise the project, his visions were carefully carried out by the construction staff consisting of Gabe Pack, Ed Goulet, Jim Bealey, Sue Heckman, Kathy Wilson, Kim Jones, and others. Good work, crew. The costumes. Early on, the costume staff was busy poring through costume and dancewear catalogs, looking for inspiration for what would turn out to be a monumental effort to outfit over 50 actors and dancers in over 300 costumes. Preliminary drawings were made in an attempt to visualize the final product. Drawings were made for all the costumes that were to be made by hand and identified by scene. Carolyn Martin, Janet Ebersol, Judy Cloverdale, and others combined their efforts and talents to come up with costumes from the 30s for one of the biggest musical dance shows ever conceived. In addition to original creations, costumes were borrowed from every community theater up and down the peninsula. Some of the costumes were actually 1930s vintage. Attention was paid to every detail. The butterfly costumes were hand-painted chiffon, not dyed. Not only did the costumes have to look spectacular, they had to fit. Good job, ladies. Choreography. At the heart of this rather ambitious undertaking is the choreography. After all, this is a dance show, and who else to choreograph other than our own nationally recognized choreographer, Shelley Pack Manning. Shelley started her career back in Pennsylvania, where she danced with the Pittsburgh Ballet. She has since operated many dance studios, both back east and here in California. She has trained many young people for competitions, and in addition to having many state champions, has had 2 national champions over the past 2 years, hoping to make it 3 later this year. Getting a seasoned dancer from state championships to national championships is one thing, but getting over 50 kids to tap dance, most of which have never danced anywhere, is quite another. Shelley had her hands full. But the kids were up for the challenge. They not only rehearsed at the high school, but continued at her studio. The long hours paid off. Good work, Shelley. The vocal director. Lisa Hutchins was brought in to help coach the kids with respect to vocals and singing. Lisa has an extensive musical background, including growing up to the sounds of a trumpet being played by her father. She is a veteran of many high school shows and community theater productions. Lisa worked with the musical director to bring to life the bouncy score from the show. We asked Lisa to share a few of her thoughts about this year's production and some friendly advice for the kids, many of which are graduating this year.
Well, I want to explain that this year there's so much dancing that it overshadows the singing a lot. So you sing about half a song and then the other half or 3/4 is dancing. So this year the singing is not as heavy, as hard as the dancing. But you still have to, the words are strange because it's 1930s words, so you still have to say strange words about thumbing your nose at the landlord and making that make sense. They seem to be catching on quicker. There's not as much harmony. I'm a real harmony fan, so there's not as much harmony in this show. Harmony is harder to teach, harder to learn, harder to hear, so there's not as much harmony. So it's the harmony I get upset. They are not doing the harmony right, then throws the whole thing off. Not as much harmony. It's more melody, it's more cutesy, it's more theatrical. The girls come out and everything they do is just really cute and high. So it isn't even natural singing. It's not even natural singing. It's performance art. It's very theatrical. Getting out there on stage will help you in everything you do in life. Because every time you go to a job interview, basically you're acting, you're selling yourself. Every time if you're a teacher, you're teaching a class, you're definitely acting. Anytime you get up in front of a class, in any of your college classes, you have to present something, you're acting. So this is the best thing you can do. You're performing in front of, 800 people a night. It's great. For sopranos, can you sing that note? It's really high. You sing it.
Thank you, Lisa. You did a great job. The crew. The performers wouldn't look very good if it weren't for the efforts of the lighting and sound crews and the backstage crew moving around all of those sets. What is probably most amazing is that this is the first time out for all the members of the lighting and sound crew. Not one member has ever operated a mixer, lighting board, or even a follow spot. say they all performed as seasoned professionals. Good work, kids. The director. As if being the choreographer wasn't enough, the endlessly energetic Shelley Pack Manning also takes on the role of director. Shelley helps the kids bring alive the characters in the show. After a grueling casting process, Shelley is ready to begin the rehearsals. And there are rehearsals. Lots of rehearsals. As Shelley gives notes, the kids seem to hang on every word. No amateurs in this group. Nice work, Shelley. Special thanks. There are so many people involved in this production, it is impossible to mention all of them, but I would like to mention a few. Brooke Bealey, the student director, who assisted Shelley and made life just a little easier. The wonderful parents who took the time to help with the costuming, building of the sets, painting, and other jobs that needed to be done. Jim Bealey, Mary Claret, Ed Goulet. Thank you, folks. We couldn't have done it without you.